Last month marked 37 years since the death of Elvis Presley at Graceland, his iconic home in Memphis, and many of his fans still wonder what exactly happened in his final hours. Now answers are being revealed in the new memoir, Elvis and Ginger. Elvis Presley's fiancée and last love finally tells her story. Ginger Alden was 20 years old when she met and fell in love with Elvis in 1976, and she's with us now. Ginger, good morning. It's good to see you.
Good morning, Willie. Thank you.
The first thing people asked me when I said I was going to talk to you today is, why now? Why is she telling the story 37 years later? What's the answer?
Well, when my son was 7 years old, he jumped off the school bus, and he had worn a pair of large, oversized sunglasses that day to school. And the kids on the school bus were calling him Elvis. And so he jumped off the school bus, ran up to me, and said that. And I had written down my memories shortly after Elvis passed away as a way to just hold on. And I went forward with my life. I worked, I got married, had my son, raised him. He's 20 years old, just turned 20. Went off to college 2 years ago, and the time was right because there were an awful lot of speculations and exaggerations and untruths regarding our relationship. And I wanted to get the truth out. And so when he went off to college, I devoted my time to him. And I went to work, and it took me a couple of years.
Take me back, Ginger, to 1976. You were 20 years old. You meet Elvis by a chance meeting at Graceland. What was it like at that point to step into the orbit of the most famous man on the planet?
He was a magical, magical person. I mean, he had this ability to draw you into his world, whether it be through his spiritual studies or his music. He just definitely had a gift, and such a charismatic person. When he entered a room, you just felt this energy.
It's interesting, you met him late in his life. A lot of the impression that the public, I think, have of late Elvis is that he was unhappy, that he was overweight. That's not the impression you give in this book.
No.
Who was the Elvis you knew in those last days and months?
Willie, I mean, Elvis was looking forward to so many things. He wanted to do more films, more music, wanted to get married, wanted to have children. And I wrote in my book about how he would oversalt his food, and at times he would appear more puffy or bloated, if you want to call it that, on camera. But he was never fat. I used to get aggravated when people would say he was fat. You know, I thought he was a handsome man. He wasn't 20 anymore. And some people, that was hard to, you know, to maybe see. Or
I was blinded from the moment I sat down by a couple of things you brought with you. What are we looking at here?
This was my beautiful engagement ring that Elvis gave to me on January 26, 1977.
Wow.
I had been sitting in his daughter's room with him. He got up, went into his bedroom, made a few phone calls, came back, and I was like, what's going on? And took me by the hand, went into his bathroom, which was his sanctuary, seated me in a chair, and said many beautiful words to me and asked me to marry him.
Absolutely gorgeous. And then the necklace, is that the TCB necklace?
This is a TLC.
Oh, the TLC necklace.
Stands for Tender Loving Care.
Of course, of course.
And you were part of his inner circle when he gave you this, and it's some of the most dear pieces I have. You
mentioned the bathroom, and unfortunately that's become an infamous place because of what happened on August the 16th, 1977. You spent a late night. He was famous for staying up all night.
Yeah.
Didn't go to bed till 6 or 8 in the morning, I guess, that night. And then you wake up, you go to the bathroom door. Describe what you saw.
Elvis had fallen forward from the toilet, and it was devastating. I wrote about it in my book. I was in denial. It was something that none of us expected. It's still hard to this day, but it was a very tragic, sad day.
You write in the book that you heard, as you turned his face, a hint of air expelled from his nose. Did that mean to you that Elvis was still alive when you found him?
No. I just, afterwards, when we were gathered, me and his father and his daughter and my niece Amber, when we were gathered in his grandmother's bedroom, we were all still hoping. It was hard. It was like this huge part of me knew, but we were just still praying and hoping that the doctors could save him. And just kept walking through the house and praying. You describe in the book these sleep packets that Elvis took to help him get through the night to sleep. You describe him taking 2 that night. Did you have any sense of what kind of drugs were in those packets? No, I wasn't sure. I know sometimes they had given Elvis placebos because he had a dependency on sleep medication. And sometimes they would switch and give placebos, but I didn't know exactly when that was. So I don't know what was in those particular packets on that particular day.
And in hindsight, do you think there's anything else that could have been done in those moments in that room to save Elvis Presley?
No. I think Elvis went very, very quickly.
It is a riveting read, I have to say. The book is Elvis and Ginger Alden. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you.